Hi, hello, welcome to the Demystified Tarot, and that's going to be the weekly reading for the week of, I think, 24th July, basically till 30th July. So, yeah, let's see what comes up. I'm using the Pocket Tarot edition of The Wild Unknown by King Kranz. That's one of my favorites, and I think many tarot readers' favorites. So let me get the cards. And meanwhile, while I'm shuffling, just a reminder, take it as it resonates. You know, tarot is just really for your guidance. Don't make any life decisions based on just the tarot, unless there's other solid and logical reasons for it, you know. All right, I've got my 5 initial cards, and let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Oh, the Lovers. Let me kind of just put it here and reorganize a bit. All right, so usually for these readings, the bottom card, so here the Lovers, I'll show in this deck, it's 2 lovely swans or geese, flying together. Those birds usually pair for life, and you can see that they're flying in one direction, so they're on the same page. And Lovers in tarot represents this special kind of relationship between 2 people. It can be in love, and generally, well, because again, this card usually represents kind of a background of the reading for me, so I would kind of lean towards that. For most of you, it's going to resonate as a love reading, but it can still just be about like important relationship as a friendship or career-wise, whatever is kind of happening in your life. So yeah, I think that's the background basically. And then like what's happening in that relationship or within just between you and that special person. Otherwise, by the way, just before I go into the full 5 cards reading, the Lovers can also traditionally mean a choice. But again, because it's a background kind of card situation, just based on the placement, I will lean towards, again, about it's the topic of the reading, which is this potentially love relationship. And that love relationship starts a little harsh because we have 10 of Wands, Justice, 3 of Pentacles, Strength, and Page of Cups. So I would say it's a bit of ups and downs kind of relationship, when I think like inside in your souls, you feel this connection very strongly. And I think you know each other for a bit at least, but maybe it's a new connection. Take as it resonates. So it might be like more than talking about the future of like how this relationship would play out if it's a new relationship. But why I'm saying that, because you don't usually start a connection with 10 of Wands, you know, like you need time to build it up. Same with the Justice and Balance. I feel like there needs to be some karma in this connection already for this card to pop out. And the only option that there is a Page of Cups in this deck is called Daughter of Cups, and usually that can represent more like of a new connection coming in. So maybe, and then like that will be in beginning phase. But it's the last card in here, and like I pay attention to the positions and kind of how the story lines up from left to right. And so I'll give you the main kind of interpretation. Take again as resonates. And try to like, you know, the timeline is fluid, like in energy, like I don't know you all, and those readings usually, you know, take from them like how much you feel it's meant for you. And like I cannot fit perfectly. For some of you, yeah, maybe you will be like, oh my gosh, you're so spot on. Other people will be like, well, yeah, this and this resonates. The other stuff maybe meh. So let's see. But then once again, it starts with some kind of, I want to say baggage, because in the traditional tarot deck, the 10 of Wands is literally someone carrying like a pack of sticks, which is literally kind of heavy baggage, right? So I think in this relationship, either you've already built baggage between each other, which is what I lean towards. Eventually, one of you is bringing a lot of baggage from the past, and maybe it's you. I think, you know, it's your reading and you're starting off with this. So I would say like, you feel tired, you feel exhausted, like so much happened in your love life already that kind of made you just feel like it's really exhausting battle. But the good thing is like you're going on, that's the thing. Like, it's not exactly an easy reading, because we also have a strength card, and usually strength card tells me that there's something to be strong about. So I would say it's not easy for you, and it's not easy in this relationship either, fully, to be honest. But I do think that it is a strong relationship, and you're kind of open to that. Like, your heart is not closing because, like, no, it's too hard, like, let's give up. No, you show so much strength through this reading, and openness with the Page of Cups, that, and like, even with strength, because strength card also represent the heart chakra, so it's a very sunny and open card in general. So yeah, I would say, even though it's hard, you're not giving up, and this relationship is still strong. But I think there's some karma. Again, the Justice here, like, often represents karma in tarot, and in this deck it really reminds me of the Lovers card so much, because of the rainbows, and just the fact that there's a pair of animals that is clearly like a pair. Although in this one you can clearly see it's also yin and yang kind of situation. There's the black, there's the white, so there's two different sides of you. Like, maybe you are very different, you and your person, and it's difficult, I think, for you to balance. Again, these two cards tell me it's not an easy thing. I think that it's difficult for you to balance this out, but somehow also yin and yang fit together perfectly. So even though you might be very different, and you feel sometimes it's very difficult for you to find that spot and fairness, I think maybe one of you is always like, this is so unfair, and the other person is like, but like what? Like, what did I do? And this is often like a issue in a relationship, and I think Justice card kind of can talk about it a lot, like this sense of justice or injustice, and just like not being on the same pages when it comes to it. Then there's also Three of Pentacles, which is, especially in this deck, I feel like a very strong foundation kind of card. And again, it talks to me about the strength of this relationship that comes from small things, because also it's a card often of friendship, especially in like love aspects. It can represent like a very strong friendship base of a connection. But I also think it talks, and especially it's in the middle, so you can see, like, again, like, this is such a strong connection with all these like lovers, the Justice, the Three of Pentacles, the Strength cards. I think, like, I don't know, even maybe you try to split before, or you try to leave it, but like, you keep coming back to each other, I feel. And because there's this connection, it is really some special connection between you. I'm sorry, but like, that's how I read it. And there is a foundation to build. There's that friendship, like, you like each other, you like to spend time with each other, you like to talk to each other. I think you can even depend in certain aspects on each other. I say in certain aspects because if it was all aspects, then there would be no problem, right? But also I feel the Three of Pentacles represent here that you are putting the work, because it's also a card of cooperation, working together on a project. So I think both of you are still trying to make it work. If there were issues, if there was any disconnection, or even if there wasn't, I think this is the kind of connection when like, you have to put effort in it, because it's very precious to you. With any other, like, maybe weaker connections, you would not put up with so much work. Again, the work here represented by the Ten of Wands, Three of Pentacles, the strength. So many cards that show me the strength, but also the effort, as I say, of this connection. So I think you are working on it, and like, you're trying to build that foundation, and maybe each time you kind of go at it, you like try it a little differently to find that balance, because maybe you feel before it wasn't very balanced, and you have like a new idea, like, okay, let's try it differently, like, maybe let's try this time, it's gonna work. Because again, the Three of Pentacles even has a little of the, like, the Justice, this balancing act, because a foundation needs to be balanced. If there is no balance, the foundation is going to collapse, right? And then we have the Strength card, which I already kind of mentioned a lot. And by the way, because we have some major arcanas here, it can represent Libra and Leo. So that might be important astrology sign, either yours or the person's, but it doesn't have to be. Otherwise, it can also represent, especially with this, I feel the Leo season, because we are just starting Leo season. So I think having this card here might also mean that there will be a lot of happening in August, especially because this one's also number 8. You better look at it like, trying to guess time in tarot is kind of like just guessing, but I'm just gonna say it since it comes to my head that it might be connected to this season. So that well, we're doing reading for this season as well, so like for sure. But like I also think it like this openness, and like if there's rekindling, especially for this connection, like it's a connection that maybe at the moment is in no contact phase. I think it's gonna happen in this like Leo season, mostly like in August. That the build, trying to rebuild that foundation, trying to find a new way to connect and work on it together. And again, strength, the open heart, but also this inner strength. I think you have, or both of you show for this connection. And also in this deck again, like it's not in every deck, but like in this deck, even though it's very masculine energy, actually, the strength, and in this tarot, because in the traditional it's more actually maybe feminine. He's bringing a rose, and it can also, in this particular deck, roses represents cups a bit, so it's like it's bringing the cup as well. So even more, it makes me kind of connected to the Page of Cups here, right? But again, I don't personally usually enjoy getting strength card in my readings, because I always feel like if there's strength card showing up, it means there will be something testing me in a way that I will need to show strength. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be strong if everything's fine. So again, that's why I feel like this direction, this relationship, this connection is not maybe the easiest one. But I think it's well worth it, and like you feel it so much, I think, in your hearts, in your souls. But I think because also there's actually not much swords energy here, there's not much wands energy, other than this 10 of wands. I think these feelings you guys have, I don't think they're really spoken out much. I think maybe you've tried talking about this before, it didn't go well, and now you're kind of withholding a bit. I don't know, it's just kind of the vibe I get, just because more of the lack of the cards rather than the cards that are here. There's not many like very communicative cards on the table. So I would say like this strong feeling of this relationship, I think, is a little like under surface basically, but it is there, and I think it shows only in small ways. I think you show the love and friendship to each other through, again, Page of Cups, which is very sweet energy, but it's kind of slow, like kind of shy, kind of cute, kind of small things. So, kind of doing little small things every day, saying hi, how are you, good night, sending a meme, rather than like big kind of like declarations of love, like the Knight of Cups would be, right? Like, so I don't know. I think it's kind of shy, and as I say, it does give me the feeling of this relationship being a bit like under surface. Now, I've talked mostly about it like regarding love, but now like think about it, like that could apply to a friendship that's like just very strong, but like you're also in your lives, but like there's problems. Maybe you keep fighting and making up, and like it's difficult, but like it's a friendship you don't want to let go. Can be also be about career relationships. So there might be like a business partner or like particular job that's very difficult, but in a way very satisfying at the same time, and you're like trying to make it work. You're trying to find better balance, how to do it, and you're trying to show up with like a heart to do this job. But okay, yeah, for the end, I'm just gonna pull like little advice reading. Ooh. And I'll tell you why. Ooh, in a moment. Oh, I don't know. Normally, I don't do reversals. Generally, I'm very scarce with the reversals, but I don't know. I kind of don't want to flip it because everything's going so well in this reading, and like I don't want to spoil it with this Five of Pentacles, basically. But okay, let me talk about the advice then. Ace of Swords, Son of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups, which I just mentioned here, and reversed Five of Pentacles, right? Why I was doing wow when this came up, because actually traditionally the Ace of Swords shows on the Justice card. Like in the traditional tarot card, it's the Justice goddess wielding the sword. Here it shows in between the cats, but it's this sword of truth. This is the communication that, like I was saying, like there was here no communication. I would say communicate, talk, say the honest truth, even if it's difficult. Like, don't go into white lies. I don't think you would like lie to this person. I think you love and respect each other too much. But I think when you're like being shy and under surface, maybe not like talking, you're not being fully real, and on the surface with the relationship and emotions. I think often what happens, people go a lot into white lies and kind of lies by omissions and things like that. So try not to do that. Like, try to be straight and say your truth. And I think that person will also potentially do that, because also Knight of Cups, I just said, like, this was kind of downplaying. This is like energy of like being there, doing the things, showing interest, but like downplaying it to like, no, we're just friends. It's just, it doesn't mean anything. But the Knight of Cups, it's the graduation. The little swan grows up, grows a pair of, what, and comes on his white horse with some declaration, well, of his feelings and whatever is in that cup of his, right? Hopefully it's a full cup. It looks full normally. And then this card, I feel like this, that's what I was saying. I was sensing there might have been some kind of no contact or disconnection in this relationship. And I think that shows here that it's going to end. If it's still going on, it's going to end, because Five of Pentacles is often like card of being left out and kind of being alone and being kind of shut off by other people. So I would say if there was like a no contact period, it's going to end. And as an advice, I would say be truth, be bold in professing your feelings and, pursuing this relationship. And if there's no contact, maybe, try to end it eventually. But this is advice. And when I say advice, I can only advise you. I cannot advise to the other person. Otherwise, otherwise it might feel like this person is going to be the person doing that. Like, they will come to you with the truth, they will offer something, they will finish the no contact. But I'm not talking to them, I'm talking to you. And so you have only control over your own actions, not on their actions. And definitely I don't have control over their actions at all. So I would say it's more likely that this is your advice for your attitude and your kind of approach to this situation. So good luck. Overall, it looks very good, I think. It's very sweet, even though kind of tiring and exhausting even at points situation. So, things gonna get easier. They're never always difficult and heavy, So good luck.